to glorify you, Jesus. Magnify you, Lord. You're worthy of the glory, Lord.
Kingdom of heaven is at hand. Last week we concluded with the fact that your expectation by faith in what God has already promised is the strongest element of the prayer of faith. And today we will look deeper into the prayer of faith, because I want you to be ready for what we have to prepare for. I kind of laughed at Brother Quintus this morning because he said, I feel something heavy coming down the pike. And it is. So as we dig into the word today and dig into this message today, yes, it's going to be painful. Not in a bad way, but in a good way, if you'll fully get what I'm about to release today. Because sometimes as Christians, we're too quick to use worldly logic about what's in front of us.
Come on now. Come on now.
You have things to pop up in front of you, and when they pop up, you still have this world's mind frame about what you're looking at. And Romans 12:2 lets us know, 12:1 and 2 lets us know that to not be conformed to this world,
Yes.
but to be transformed by the renewing of our minds. That is something that has to happen every day, because what you got to understand is there is a time that we should use logic that's in front of us, but as Christians in his kingdom, it needs to be God's logic that we're using every time that we look at what's in front of us. So if we're using God's logic for the things that we're looking at in front of us, then here's how we should really begin to approach things. We should understand that unless what's in front of us looks like a finished promise, then we should be looking beyond what is in front of us. If what you're looking at does not look like what his word says it's supposed to look like, then you need to begin looking beyond that, so that you'll know what to say and pray in faith to get it to look like what it's supposed to look like. So now, when Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not to thine own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge him, and he'll direct your path. The whole idea about that passage right there, Proverbs 3:5-6, those two verses, the whole idea about that is to get you to walk in the steps of his kingdom.
Yes. Amen.
Not in the ways of the world, into the ways of his kingdom. Now, if it's forewarning you to not lean into your own understanding, guess how easy it is to go into your own understanding. And that's what's gotten us into a lot of trouble. And the reason that I need to deal with this on today, because once again, tomorrow is the beginning of the 6th month on the Hebrew calendar. The number 6, it actually means the number of man. Okay? That's really what the number 6 is about, because it was on the 6th day that man was created. When you look at that in Genesis, when God was creating the heavens and the earth, that is the day that he created man. Now here's what most people don't get about that, and what they don't pay attention to, is everything else was already done. Everything else was already finished. The seas had their boundary, the earth had their boundary, the garden was already set up, everything, trees, everything was already done. Just like your life. He's already completed all of the provisions, all of everything. It's already done. The issue now is to get you to know how to manage it. You say, well, my life's incomplete right now. I don't have pieces that I'm desiring. That's because you have yet to use your words to frame it. His focus for us is all of that stuff's already complete. I need for you now to arrange it to where it fits who you are. That's the whole issue. Because when he says that he made us in his image and that he calls those things that are not as though they were, notice it doesn't say that he calls those things that are in front of them just like it is. I just call it like I see it. That's a worldly logic. And when you call it like you see it, now your power is then transferred to maintain what you spoke. So if you call by what you see, and you're not walking by faith, but walking by sight, and then you use your words to speak sight, now what you see is what you're going to continue to see, because you've now used the power to maintain something that shouldn't have even been maintained. So now let's go to our scripture that we started out on, was Luke 10, verse 38 through 42. Because see, we have to choose who and what we're going to serve. We got to choose. And see, truth of the matter is, you don't want to choose. You want somebody to choose for you. You want somebody to choose for you. And after you've gotten so used to having somebody else choose for you, now when it comes time for you to choose, you don't know how to and you don't want to. So you've been letting the world dictate your circumstances for so long that now you think that that's what God's setting up for you, and that ain't what he's doing. He did that for you in your infancy, but you ain't infants no more. The only ones that's got any kind of remotely excuse in here today is Ariana. That's it. Everybody else, no excuse whatsoever of not knowing how to properly choose. Because what he's done and what he's been doing in our lives over the years, he's been establishing something and saying, okay, do you like doing all of this work and labor? Or do you like it when things are done on your behalf? It's your choice. Now, I've let you work your fingers to the bone. I've let you work 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 jobs at a time. I've let you keep up with 10, 12 credit cards. I've let you have all of these different accounts. I've let you have all of this different stuff. Now, which one do you like? Do you like not having to look over your shoulder? Do you like not having to turn the call ID off and turn the phone off and everything else because they're hounding you about the bills? Or do you like it when everything's paid for and taken care of? What he's doing is he's letting all of that happen, and he's let all of that happen to say, okay, here is your choice. You can live like this because the blessing of the Lord, it maketh rich and it adds no sorrow with it. Or you can live